SolidWorks allows you to create your sheet metal designs using the same multi-body design techniques as with regular parts, but there is some added flexibility that makes this particularly useful when working with sheet metal. Oftentimes, designs require several pieces of sheet metal that get assembled together. If you're comfortable using top-down assembly design, then you know how powerful it can be having in-context features that drive the geometry for both pieces of sheet metal. With multi-body sheet metal design, the same power is extended to the part level without the need for any complex in-context file relationships. In this example, I want to create a simple top and bottom cover for an enclosure. I'll create both bodies here in the same SolidWorks part file. I'll get started with a basic sketch for the bottom cover, give it some dimensions, and create the base flange. Now notice in the feature tree, a sheet metal feature has been created along with the base flange and flat pattern. Now that's all I'll create for now for the bottom cover. For the top cover, I'll start a new base flange on one of the bottom cover's side bends. I'll start a new sketch on it, and I can take advantage of the edges or points on the bottom cover by using sketch relations to define the size of the new geometry. Again, this is similar to top-down assembly design technique, but it keeps things simple by using relations within a single part file. That way, if the bottom cover ever changes size, then this flange for the top cover will update automatically. I'll add a dimension to fully define it, and click on the Base Flange tab icon. Now, if this were to be a simple tab feature in a single body sheet metal part, SolidWorks would absorb the overlapping sketch segment, and this would effectively extend the original flange. But in this case, I want to create a separate body, so I must uncheck the Merge Result option. I'll make sure the new flange is being added to the outside of the original flange, using the reverse direction option if necessary, and click OK. When I do, the flange is added, and a couple new items appear in the feature tree. Notice there's a cut list folder which lists both sheet metal bodies, as well as an additional sheet metal feature and flat pattern. Now, another advantage to designing sheet metal with multiple bodies is that there may be times when you want to work on another area of the design before joining those areas together. In this case, I'll create the next flange for the top cover on the other side. Just as before, I'll start a sketch and use the rectangle tool to take advantage of sketch relations to control the size of the flange based on the existing features. I'll click the Base Flange tab icon, and again, uncheck the Merge Result option so it doesn't add this as a tab to the bottom cover. I'll make sure it's being added to the outside of the bottom cover, and click the green check. The flange is added as a new body, and in the feature tree, you can see it listed in the Cut List section, along with the addition of the third sheet metal and flat pattern features. The next step is to merge these two flanges for the top cover into a single body. This can be done easily by using an edge flange. All I have to do is click on one of the edges, and to combine it with the other side so that they merge together, there's an end condition for this edge flange that I must use called Up to Edge and Merge. With this option selected, all I have to do is select the edge of the other flange. When I do, you can see a preview of the resulting bend. Now, something to keep in mind when merging two sheet metal bodies with an edge flange is that both bodies must have the same thickness, since these will both share the same sheet metal feature, and that the edge you select to merge them must be linear and parallel. I'll click OK, and the feature is added. Notice in the feature tree there are only two bodies in the cut list, as well as only two flat pattern features. I can add another edge flange to finish up this enclosure. I'll select the 2 remaining edges and use an up to vertex end condition to ensure the parts rebuild correctly if I make any design changes. The bodies will not be merged unless I use an up to edge and merge end condition. I'll click the green check, and the enclosure is complete. Now at this point, it would be simple to add additional tabs, cuts, or other features to each of the bodies, and the enclosure design has all of the built-in references and design intent to behave as expected if design changes are needed. You can also flatten the bodies individually by clicking the Flat Pattern feature for each in the tree and pressing the Flatten button on the toolbar. And keep in mind, only one body can be flattened at a time, so you'll need to exit the flattened state of one body before you can flatten the other.